Go ahead.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Private Talk Podcast in Alexis, Texas, and we are back, season 5. And today, Private Talk, we have Robert Ri'chard on the couch. He's already trying to take over my show. You're trying to introduce Miss Texas. I know you're a fan. You were just so eager you couldn't, not, show
With these gorgeous eyes you
the
have.
one, the only Miss Texas.
Yes, the
So
Alexis
let's
Texas.
get into it.
Let's
Since
do it.
we've already been like conversating, while the cameras are getting fixed, getting all that stuff. So I'm all about candid conversation.
Okay.
So when you got the DM to say to do this show, what was on your mind? You say you don't have a lot of thoughts in your head.
Yeah, I don't think too much.
So when you saw that, because clearly, you know exactly who I am.
Yeah, for sure. I texted my sister and asked her if I should do this show, and she said, "Make sure you smack her ass." That's what she said.
Nice.
So,
is she younger?
No, she's older.
Older.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Words
yeah.
of encouragement.
Yeah, for sure. So I figured at some point I have to make sure that comes true. So she doesn't know I'm not a punk.
I think it's like one of those things you gotta ask, and smacking is like a bit of an overstretch because where I come from, we respect the booty.
I'm not saying that
honor the booty.
I'm not saying that I'm just gonna smack your ass.
I don't
I'm
think
telling
you
you that
will.
that my sister said make sure you do. So there's that.
So you gotta throw the sister under the bus to be like, hey sister.
No.
It's a
No,
female.
I'll take it on my shoulders. Okay, so you're from Texas.
I am.
Does everyone know that you're from?
So we didn't answer the question. You just said you had to ask your sister, but were you excited? Were you like, oh, is this real? Were you not sure what you're getting into? Because you said you didn't watch the show.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show.
But you want to start doing more podcasts and talking and
Yeah.
having that narrative.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts at that time?
I think the first thing I thought was how worldly you are.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like everyone on
Not just Texas.
I think that everyone on the planet knows who you are. It's pretty spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but I'll take it.
No, for sure. And so that's I'm like, okay, she's like a marketing pro, right? And then she's making a solid, lane for herself where she's like, hey, I'm going to dominate the internet. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to do the show. We are doing the show.
Okay.
We're doing the show together.
We're doing the show.
And then we'll do another one because this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm going to keep making movies so that I'll be back. And then as it grows.
So you're going to be a continued guest here at Private Talk because, everyone's going to love you. We're going to have good chemistry about your conversation and flow. So you just want to come back every time.
What did I bring you?
You brought me, this is you're trying to show how of a gentleman you are.
No, I'm just asking. I mean, they don't know, so I'm...
Private Talk. Well, he did his, due diligence of a man. And he said that this is our first date. He brought me flowers. He brought me champagne, and he brought me pineapples. I don't know who that's really for. If you know, you know. But
Clever.
I've never had a guest bring all three of those things. I've had one guest bring me flowers, and it was a female. It was a couple seasons ago, but I definitely appreciate it. It's very nice to come not open or nothing, or what is it? Open-handed.
Yeah, no, empty-handed.
Empty-handed. There you go.
Right. Every interview that I do, I'm their favorite guest.
Because you bring
no, because I don't know what the show's about. So it's just it's just...
So it's lighthearted and fresh and
authentic.
I think that that's what's great about, being an authentic person who doesn't always show up all the time is because people are think that it's oh, I got to do research and do whatever. Or my show is about, it's called Private Talk. We don't know each other, but by the end of this show, we're going to know you. We're going to know you. Everyone's going to know you, and we're going to love you.
Okay, so I have a question. You've grown up in front of the camera.
I mean, in my adult life.
Okay, yeah. Are you more comfortable in front of cameras? Are you more comfortable off screen?
I think I'm comfortable both ways. I think that it's a different type of narrative of when the cameras come on. And it's definitely, I'm on Alexis, Texas 24/7. So it's a different type of personality of sorts. But it does definitely comes very natural. I think that's why my show is very successful too, is because it's just energy. I'm very big about energy. I'm big about connections and trying to get to know a real person and not just identified by your craft of what you do. You're an actor, but there's more important parts to you than what that is. If it's because you're funny, you're charming because you're being thoughtful and bringing gifts or doing things like that. It's most people don't go the extra mile. So it's what makes you tick, Robert? What's inside that brain that you say don't think a lot, but you have to think about things.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, you're just supposed to look out for the fans. I think that, everybody works hard. People are, first responders and military and officers and people who got crazy ass jobs. And then when they go home, they want to be entertained. And I think, both you and I are part of that,
So is that why you became do the entertainment? You said you come from a military background of, parents being in the military? Were the entertainment of like when you were growing up?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all. No, I think I was more like quiet wallflower, like kind of like not too talkative.
Okay, you were thinking a lot back then.
I wasn't thinking too much. No, I don't think that I'm like. There's not a lot going on upstairs. I would say that I'm like generally dumb, but I'm educated though.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna be like a scientist.
You were gonna be like a scientist. What does that mean?
Be a
Let's talk about
scientist.
that. So you finished, you went to college. How far did you go in your education?
I studied engineering at Johns Hopkins, so I was studying to be a NASA
So
engineer.
how do you go from like you do all this schooling? That's something that's not easy by any means, but being book smart, doing like the hard work and dedication, discipline to do what that means. What changed? What flipped that switch that you're like, this isn't for me and like I'm gonna do?
I don't think it was that deliberate. There's a acting school down the street from like my house where we grew up,
Okay.
and there was cute girls there.
Okay.
So then I just ended up at the class just because.
So have you always been someone who flirts with girls and likes the girls' validation and like the attention from what that brings?
Girls smell good.
Okay.
They're beautiful.
Okay.
I appreciate them.
Okay.
You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You have great eyes too.
Yeah.
And I think that it's good for men and women to get along and conversate.
But do you say that in the sense of like, okay, there's girls at this school or whatever, but like after that point and you get the girls' attention, what else do you do? What do you do with
Well,
that?
I just didn't participate. I was like in this acting school, and I just never ever participated. And someone said, "Are you scared,
Okay.
like, to act?" And I'm like, "Dude, if I get on that fucking stage, I'll be
I'm
the
gonna own
best.
it.
I'll be the best actress school's ever
So is
seen."
that what lit your flame?
I think, yeah, just the challenge.
Okay.
I like
So
competition.
you challenge or you like conquered the girls' attention. I'm sure you get a lot of girls flirting with you back and giving you some kind of attention back. And then now you're like, well, what are you even doing here? Why are you even at this school? So now it lights your flame and now you
Yeah, then I
get a taste.
yeah, then I go for it.
So what was your breakthrough thing and like what did that mean to you as being a kid and like being like in the limelight, being around cameras all the time,
Mhm.
being grown up in that kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general the '90s is a whole different beast. I don't think the world today is the same as it was in the '90s. I think in the '90s everything was like the best.
Explain.
Like Michael Jordan was like the best, and Michael Jackson was the best, and Mike Tyson was the best, and Bruce Lee. Everything that was in the '90s was like excellence. So I think that like in my mindset, it was kind of like I made acting into like my sport, and I was like, I want to be the best in my sport.
Okay.
And I still kind of see it that way. And, now I'm like, got all this energy and putting it someplace productive as opposed to, fucking it off. And
So what kind of projects do you have going on? You have a movie coming out at the end of this month.
yes, May 30th, it's on BET. It's called RSVP.
Okay.
I play a villain.
Okay.
I kill like,
You like playing the villain?
so my,
Your eyes light up when you say that.
I've played like 5 villains in a row now,
Okay.
which is, I think is a good like, difference
Are you
than,
typecasted now?
no, I think it's
You play it
great.
that well that you're like,
Yes.
they're like,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
get that guy.
Yeah, so Maurice Wright is this like multi-millionaire whose wife gets killed, and then everyone who had a hand in involvement in her death, he kills them all. So
Okay.
we'll cut to the clip. I'll make sure that I have a clip for you, and then we get to watch. And then after that, I play Zeke. Zeke is a gangster in California. In the opening scene, he blows his father away for beating on his mom. And then this TV show starts 15 years later when he comes out of prison.
So walk us through like, okay, it's coming out at the end of this month. Obviously, when did you end production? Like what is like a whole start to finish? Like when you do your like training into like getting into this character, do you do like months prior to? How do you get into these roles that you were being so villainous about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I haven't had time to prepare for any roles.
Okay.
Usually they start in like 2 days. So I try and stay as ready as I possibly can to be able to, nail these roles. But this one, RCP, we shot last April, and now it's May and it's coming out.
Okay. How long does it typically last to shoot a project like that?
Yeah, so I think 20 days is about standard
Okay.
now. So 20 days, it's like a 90-page script, so you're shooting like, 4 to 5 pages a day. So that's about a normal production these days, but I want to get on the bigger productions.
Okay.
Because the movies that I did in the past were much longer. Like, I think For Coach Carter, we did like 80 something days, which is like, 6 months of work.
What's been your favorite project so far? Maybe not the biggest, but maybe like your favorite either role or something that you've played that really kind of like just made you in a sense shine or was easy to do.
No, I think I love them all. I mean, things like asking someone like what their favorite kid is, It's like,
Is it though? But I feel like some have to be better than the other, and maybe it's just because the experience, maybe the people that you're around, maybe you have like mentor or things that you learn. And I feel like obviously each one is a unique situation, but I feel like there has to be one that stands.
do you know what Groundhog Day is? It's where every day is the same.
Yeah.
To me, all the days on set, they're kind of the same, even though I enjoy them. That's why I do like what I do, because I really love like the crew and like the camaraderie and like the singular vision and all that shit. I love it.
So do you continue, you want to do stuff behind the camera or are you going
No,
to
I'll
continue,
stay
you
in
want to
front.
stay in front of the
Yeah,
camera?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't want
Action
to
star
write,
now.
you don't want to do any of
No,
those things?
it's too hard. No, it's a lot of work.
Okay.
Directing is hard. I don't want to do it.
Okay. You just want to be told what to do.
No, I just said I run this. I run
Is
the
that how
set.
you are in your relationships too?
No, I run the set too.
You
I
run the set?
I run the relationships too.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Is
gotta
that why
stick.
you're single?
You know what? It's funny. I think am I recently single? I think I'm looking for my wife.
How do you say you're recently single? How do you not know? You being at this big age, you're not like 20 something anymore. So it's like, how do you not know the last time you were single?
Because I'm in an age now where it's like single, married, divorced, widowed. There's like not much in between. So it's like if you're with someone and then you're pursuing, let's just call it matrimony or getting down on a knee, and then there's a disruption, you have to ask yourself like, are we moving this forward or is this
So
kind
how long was your last relationship?
of 7 years?
Okay, so what were you the one who ended it? Did you feel like there was no like projection going there? Was it something that happened?
I'm so critical of them. My,
Okay.
bro- my brother makes fun of me. I'm very critical. I do think about like the household,
Okay.
like how it's gonna be like raising like a family.
Okay. Is that what you want? You want to
Yeah,
have kids,
yeah.
you want to have the whole thing.
Yeah.
So what does that picture look like for you, Robert?
I think that everything needs to be in a system. I mean, I
Okay.
think what I love to do on set is the fact that like we have like this call sheet, this standard of what we're supposed to do, and then everyone sort of signs up to follow through on that and get it done. I like that shit.
So like a system of like old school way of thinking of like your wife stays at home and like cooks, cleans, and like what kind of system? Like, cause now it's like so new age. There's a lot of things like people are even everything in being poly relationships to being where both people work and maybe one person stays at home and one doesn't. Like it's very different households these days. So how do you go about if you're saying that you're looking for your wife? What requirements do you need from your system and your household to fully function where you could be in a
I think right now in America, there's just no middle class. So I
Okay.
think one system is like, what are we chasing financially? And then two, like, what are we chasing like publicly? Like, I'll probably end up running for office at some point.
Okay.
So there has to be someone who's my counterpart who understands you will be in the first lady role as I pursue a public, office in the future. So I think all that's part of it, and then education, kids, all that kind of shit.
Okay.
Like I think education is very, very important.
So you being in the entertainment world and being recognized when you go out and things like that, how do you go about finding this? Are you on dating apps? Do you just do it by people that you know, like by mutual friends? Like how do you go about seeking out
I think you
dating?
just know. I think there's just chemistry. Like I'm sure that you get hit on all the time. Are you in a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship, no. But I also don't get hit on a lot either, which is funny enough is because I think that it's an intimidating factor because of who I am. That's why it's like it could go both ways. Yes, you're a man, so it's different. Where maybe it's more people are like throwing. Like for me, it's like I think that, and I kind of like it is the unobtainable factor of like I'm not just let anybody come talk to me.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where it's like it's more about a mind stimulated thing to like levels to those things. So I feel like because I'm maybe standoffish, I don't get a lot of people coming at me telling me bullshit.
Do you enjoy the fact that men can be nervous talking to you?
I don't think it's an enjoying thing. I think it can go both ways. I can get nervous talking to men as well. I think that it's what you do with the action of those nerves. I think that, for me, I think that it takes a strong individual to go ahead and go forth with having a conversation or asking, or even if that asking means you get, you strike out, but at least you're attempting to do that. Where it's like some people just assume one thing because of what my past profession has been, they don't know me. So it's like if you want to have a conversation, conversate because we're all individuals. We put our pants on like each other every single day. So
Right.
it's about a respect thing. But where are we going with those
What
words?
would be like like a great typical like first date for you?
Not this.
You gonna try and just shoot me dead?
Work, and like, you can't like shove things all in one thing to make a thing happen just to say it's a thing, if that makes any
Oh,
sense.
you think about me making the reference to the first date thing? I meant that
Yeah, it
professionally.
was a joke,
Yeah, yeah, no,
but
I know, but
yes.
I'm saying like, what would your first date
I
like?
knew exactly what I was making a
I
light
know I'm
of
making light
your
of, but I'm saying what would like if you had a if you're designing your first date, you're a woman that's
For me, again, I think it's individually based. Everybody's different. For me, I don't like to plan things. I shouldn't have to tell someone how to make my first date.
I
So I
agree.
feel like if the intentions are pure and it's whatever, and it's like, I want to see what that person brings or that person, what his idea of those things would entail.
Mhm.
So then I feel like then it lets you know like what you're willing to do. And I guess for me, it's not about at this age of I don't have expectations. I have to pay attention to what's being presented.
Mm.
So if that's how you are, and that's why like there's a facade when people first start talking and entertain people, where it's like that fizzles out. So can you sustain that like longevity, or are you just
Mm.
doing it so someone can like you and it's shiny and new?
No, right.
And that's why for me, I feel like the dating world is very strange because I think that they're just like you said, the reference earlier about the 90s being like a classics of time is there was a lot of things going on, but it wasn't oversaturated in markets of
Yeah.
things. Like now it's like you could just swipe and it's so easily accessible. You don't like what I said? Cool. There's somebody else that will. And it's not about substance anymore. It's about the quantity and not the quality is why I feel like it's kind of, yeah,
Are you on the dating apps?
I can't know. I feel like for me, it's I think in the beginning was my ego, but also too in the or to just being honest is like the catfish aspect and like of that whole thing of people
Mhm.
don't think it's really me. They're
Correct.
using my picture and I also too am very old school of like I want to meet someone organically and that also means of where I put myself. If it's dinners or I mean, I'm not a club person unless like it's an event or something like that, or like concerts or things like that where you would have like-minded people is where I feel like you seek those people that
Mm.
you would generally be someone I would possibly date.
Mm.
So no, yeah, I can't be on dating apps.
Okay.
I'm not swiping anywhere. Sorry, guys. So if you see a picture out there, it is not me. There's lots of pictures. There's also a lot of profiles that all kind of scam my fans and all kinds of things. And they get mad at me. And I'm like, I have the check mark, but I'm not asking you for money. Not doing any of those weird things.
So okay, so because technology is not there where you can opt in, do you invest in technology? Like, is that where your mind's at? You're like, hey, like, I got into NFTs or crypto, or I buy stocks, or I buy real estate, or
I mean, I've definitely done the crypto stuff. We did my own token recently. So I am in the meta world of sorts. It's something that's new to the people who don't really know that world, but it's been something that's been happened before the even pandemic. I've had meetings over all those things, and so I definitely am very knowledgeable in that. My business partner is in that world as well, so I'm very knowledgeable of what that means. But I have some things that are in the works for that space, but
mm-hmm.
they're not ready yet for me to speak about. But
Okay.
yeah, what are your investments? Do you do
I
anything in
like
technology?
I like real estate.
Real
I don't
estate.
understand tech. It moves so fast,
Okay.
and I feel like it's hard to keep up. I mean, maybe you might hit the lottery because you picked one stock that took off.
Okay.
I like
So you didn't buy crypto
no
whenever like, the
no I
surge
bought
was going on and everything.
no I didn't. I bought this Mullen stock.
Okay.
Mullen's a new automobile company. And it's like the guy who invented the Wraith and the Rolls Royce and the Phantom and the Dawn. He has his new company, and I invested in that because I think if it hits the market, it's gonna fly and be amazing. So
Okay.
put my money in.
What would you say is unique about you? You've been around the cameras for a very long time. How do you keep being, relevant, current in this industry that's like ever changing?
I don't know that you can try. I don't know that you even try to keep up. Like that's
Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people just to even get into the industry is very difficult. There's people that, obviously you've been doing it since you were, younger, and some people are still trying that haven't had their break. So there is some kind of maybe not algorithm, but of like, how do you stay where they're still calling you?
yeah.
Is it just based off of the work that you continue to do? Is it because of, you test on your agents? Do you feel like you're just in your
Uh,
prime?
Yeah, I just think, I think, the way that the world is right now, I think there's a lane for me,
Okay.
and just like shifting up the guards, all the greatest actors are just getting a little bit out of reach.
Mhm.
So they got to fill those spots, and I don't know when they're gonna fill it with.
Okay.
So I try and go to
I
work
like the
and
enthusiasm,
yeah,
the
yeah. I mean,
confidence. I feel like that's a big thing of like how like I'm a big manifester of like how putting that out there and putting yourself into those things because that's how those roles get curated.
do you read?
I do read.
What kind of books do you read?
A difference between like romance novels to like self-help books, that kind of spiritual type thing as well.
Is there a romance novel like author that you like?
Not in particular as
Okay.
far as like no, I just kind of like depend like I just got more into reading again in like 2 years ago and more of like because I stumbled upon a thing and I wanted to find a new hobby and I was like, let's get lost in a book.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What would you say? What kind of flirt are you?
Oh, the one that gets in the most trouble. Fuck.
Well, what does that mean?
I think okay. I think that I don't know that I'm being just on the wrong side of inappropriate when I'm flirting. I think.
Okay,
Like
so
in the sense that like I don't believe that I'm flirting with a girl,
okay.
but she's always interpreting my conversation as flirtatious.
Is it because you feel like you're a nice guy and that's why like the sense of what it is? Because like, why do you think she interprets that as flirting, or just because you're being nice?
They usually say something about it. I'm like, no, I'm just keeping this like I'm just having a general
Conversation.
conversation. Yeah.
So how do you deal with that kind of narrative?
I just keep drinking. I don't know.
Especially because, like, I mean, you're in the time of like childhood things of like there was a whole documentary about these like childhood kids being around, adults of like being all this weird stuff going on. Is like, does that stuff happen where it's like you're subjected to those types of things? So you're being more flirtatious and that's not candid because it's a whole new movement of what is acceptable now and what was not acceptable then.
Everything you can be canceled for anything right now.
I'm like, that's yours. Bad.
It's a girl calling.
Stay tuned for the commercial that we do not have.
Brought to you by Verizon.
There's
Oh no, you gotta stop. Okay, good. We're here. We're back. And we're back.
and we're back.
Yes, we're back. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that, just there's just a slight misinterpretation. Like, generally, I'm just gonna open the door for you.
Okay.
Because you're a lady. Like, you put yourself together and you should be treated right. So I'm gonna open the door for you. I'm gonna pull out your chair. I'm gonna ask you what you want to drink, and then I'm gonna put it on my tab.
Okay.
That to me is just being a gentleman. It's not flirtatious, but that can be misinterpreted as so much more.
I agree with that because I feel like it's unfortunate that they're not like I'm Southern.
Yes.
Like I'm raised Southern.
I
So
love
for
that.
me is I'm used to my guy friends and me having predominantly men friends and like not a lot of female friends until the older of me getting like
Right.
until recently. But it's just because you were raised right,
Yeah,
or
you're
it's the
looking
right
out for
thing
you,
to do,
and you should be
it's
looked
you know what
out
I mean?
for.
And obviously within reason, whatever, but I still have guy friends to this day, regardless of how much money I make. Like I will not if I do that, it's insulting to them.
For sure it is.
And for me, and so it's
Absolutely.
like I'm like, and I've been the one is whose dick is bigger, and I'm like, fine, you win. I'm not gonna because I understand what it means to them as a man.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
You
it's like,
shouldn't buy the
but I
drinks.
think that that's unfortunate again of like there's not a lot of men that do that without intention of wanting something back. So I can see unfortunate for them to be like, oh, but then that's the sad part for you is like how do you move after that? Because it's do you not be the nice guy, but that's who you are. So
Right.
it's
And nice guys finish last, so you don't want to be the nice guy. Okay, so
so
I
you're a
just got back.
dick.
I am a dick. Okay, I just got back from Puerto Rico.
Okay.
You've been to Puerto Rico.
I have been. There's lots of beautiful women in Puerto Rico.
There's a lot of beautiful
There's a
women.
lot of like strip clubs that are open at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the
morning.
morning.
That's right.
At
That's
sushi
what-
spots,
that's
which is
what-
so
oh,
weird.
Correct. I
because
love it. I love it.
Definitely been I've been one of those girls that
La
were there.
Concha, 58. I've been all of them. Brava. Yeah.
His face lit up again. That means he did something. He something strange for some change. He threw some dollar bills. It's the same denomination.
Quality over quantity. It's important. No, so there's this lovely girl. Her name was
Oh, that's how we know the men are lying. This lovely girl.
No, she was lovely. No, her name was Alexandra.
Okay.
And you know, she was cool. Like she was wingman me. She was a pretty girl next to me, making sure that all the other pretty girls in the room saw that I was with a girl.
So is this your like counterpart in your movie or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
she is. Yeah, she is. She's gorgeous. So,
So she was reeling him in, like, hey,
that's what you're supposed. They're right.
I've been a wing woman for
That's
many of my guy friends, and I love
correct.
them for them.
Correct. Absolutely. That's the best
But
way.
do you do the equal opportunity when bring men to her when it's like,
Okay,
that's the true part of a
no,
wingman.
right. So this is where
That'd be selfish.
this is where I guess the dick part comes in. So this guy walks up to her and like basically asks like, "Are you two dating?" And I'm like, "No, we're not dating, but she's spoken for."
Oh.
And he didn't know what that meant.
She has a man.
No, not that she has a man, just that she's not out here with someone who doesn't care about her whereabouts.
No, that's not what that means.
Yes, it does.
No, the fuck it don't. Because what's spoken for means is that she may not be your bitch, but she's someone else's bitch.
No, she's a quality girl who's being looked after, and she's
No.
not just like out here
Disagree.
reckless. No,
I used to have buttons on my show. I definitely would have pushed one of those fucking buttons.
like when the dogs shut the fuck up, bitch.
Like we're a lot more stupider to hearing this fucking. No, that's not what that means.
It is. So listen.
So he thought that you were what was happening.
No, so I gave him the floor to talk to her.
You gave him.
Yeah,
so nice of you.
I gave him the floor, and then I said, "You're gonna buy her a drink, right?"
Oh.
And then the conflict started. Then he said, "I was gonna," and then you said something.
Where were you, San? Oh, you were in San Juan. Was he a white man or was he Spanish?
No, he was like a older gentleman, like a.
They don't be like to be told what to do.
And,
Don't you
then I
respect
told,
your
then
others?
I told him, I said, "Listen, she's out of your league, and her time is expensive. So if you don't want to buy
Now
her,
you're pimping her out.
I'm not pimping her up. I'm like,
pimping her out.
I'm like, listen, you need to step off if you don't buy her a drink."
I wouldn't want you to be my
she
wingman.
said, "Thank you."
I would not want you to be my wingman.
She was like, "You're right." She said, "You're absolutely right."
There is truth to some of what you're saying, but your delivery is what I say is everything. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And who you say it to. Because for me, it's
He's a punk. Fuck that.
Oh, because he called you a punk too?
No, he didn't call me a punk. I called him. I'm saying, I was just like, yo, like, if you're going to talk to her, great, just buy her a drink. If you can't buy her a drink, that shows who you are as a man.
Why couldn't you let the situation play out? And in 10 minutes, if he didn't buy the drink, been like, hey, I don't see any drinks on the table. Like, am I buying them or
That's
you?
fucking lame. I got 2 sisters. I told the fucking guy she brought home on the first date, what are your intentions with her? Are you going to marry her? Because if not, kick rocks. And both of those guys
That's scary for anybody.
They both married my sister.
I would tase you.
And they both have kids now.
I would tase you.
Nah, fuck that. No.
What, are they cheating? Are they really like,
No, they're good dudes. They're actually great dudes.
you know?
'Cause
Let's pull up their DMs.
They don't even have Instagram. So I know they're
Okay,
good.
see, that makes a difference. That makes a difference.
Okay.
From where?
Huh?
Down the street.
Right.
Let's go break into their phone because I don't believe all of it. What is your, okay, let's kind of a little bit go down this lane.
Okay.
So you knew who I was.
I know that you're like at the top of like
You've seen my porn before.
I think everyone's seen your porn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but what is your porn search history right now?
Oh.
If someone were to break into your
Oh,
computer
I'm guilty.
and look,
Oh,
like, is this why your ex-girlfriend broke up with you after 7 years? Because of your porn search history?
it's gonna be lesbians and threesomes.
Lesbians and threesomes?
Yeah, for sure.
Is there a certain site or are you just like one of those who just doesn't matter?
No, I always go to the same place.
What is the place?
I go to Red 2.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I don't know what the other ones are.
Sure, he doesn't.
No, but like I don't.
How many OnlyFans subscriptions do you have?
So 0. I don't have OnlyFans. I'm not really.
You don't subscribe to any girls' OnlyFans?
I'm sure if you went into like my OnlyFans like account, there's probably girls that I've added when it first started, but I've never been on.
So you do have an account that you search other people's stuff?
No, I don't search. I think that on every platform you need to be.
Oh, so you have an OnlyFans?
No. Listen, on every platform you need to be your name across all of them. So I'm sure like you're Alexis Texas on everything, even if you don't use Facebook. It's still Alexis Texas.
No, because people steal things.
But, like, don't you want the blue check and the fact that you are
Yeah, but
you?
people still steal things.
Okay.
Why do you think I'm white girl politicking on Instagram? Because they did hated on girls in the
Who hates on
industry.
you? Who hates on you?
Who owns fucking Instagram? That guy.
Okay.
Is it Mark Zuckerberg now?
Zuckerberg owns it now.
Yeah, so he
He's
hates.
shadow bombing you or bombing
It's
you?
called shadow banned. I'm not shadow banned, but like, okay, so in the beginning of when it first started, and I don't think he owned it from the beginning, but regardless.
The other
So
two guys did.
you couldn't be on the main page, right? So you couldn't get explore page. And then it was like you couldn't say certain things. So I used to be Alexis_Texas. And then because my ass is too big and things don't fit me right, and people just flag all these things. So then I became
That's
the deleted
discrimination.
account.
That's discrimination.
Facts. That's why I came up with white girl politicking, because it's clever, and Big Sean did a great job with that song. I danced to it for many years and made lots of money.
Big
Thank you,
Sean
Big
is
Sean.
great, yeah.
But yeah,
So, okay, I have a question. So,
you
like,
have a lot of questions.
yeah, I know, because I'm curious.
Okay, let's go.
I don't know anything about you, so I'm gonna learn more.
This is, I'm trying to be in a vulnerable state in my podcast. We'll go tit for tat. Let's go.
Okay. So, like, you're a young woman. You're, like,
You don't even know how old I am.
I'm saying at the time that you were a teenager, like, I'm imagining you're like, okay, there's certain things that I enjoy, and I'm gonna turn that into, like, a business.
No, that's not how that happened.
Okay, so then I'm asking you, how did it occur?
Yeah, he really walked the whole thing to try to be as politically correct as you could be. You're asking how I wanted to get into porn and how that happened?
Yeah, the
Pretty
industry.
much. Like, or you think that if I had some aspirations to be a porn star because I saw somebody like,
No, I want to know, like, how did it occur?
Okay, well, none of that part happened. For me, it was, I never watched porn. I never did anything. Obviously, I was a very adventurous, very open sexuality of like type of person. So I was very experimental. Like, I didn't think like I showed all my guy friends my tits because I wanted to see what their dicks look like, not for sexual reasons, because I was curious, because I wanted to be like, you have that part and I have this, so why can't we, like, whatever. So I was always very curious. And then I was in college, and a company called Shane's World that were doing a line called College Amateur Tour. They kind of walked into my bar. I was, and I didn't know who they were. I thought that at the time I had been approached like a week before for a limo date to do that whole like show, whatever. And so I thought it was the same type of people because they were asking for people like questions and whatever. So I was like, look, I'm about to start my shift. If you want to, you have to buy a drink and you can buy whatever. So then they start asking me all these questions and like, what's my favorite sex position, this, that, and the other. And they're like, look, I'm just going to ask to be straight up. They're like, we're shooting a film, college girls that have never done scenes before. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm working. Like, that doesn't work for me. So they're like, we're going to Austin for the night. We'll call you when we're done. And so they never called me, never said anything. So then the next day I was like, oh, I guess she really didn't want me to be in the movie, just for like me and my ego, like, oh, I guess she didn't want me in your movie. And then they called me. They're like, oh my God, like, we're on the way to Houston right now. We didn't think that you'd want to do it. Like, we didn't think you were serious, blah, blah, blah. We'll turn around right now if like you're yes. And I'm like, I'm not saying that I want to do this. Like, I'm just saying like, da, 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 da. They stayed on the phone with me the whole time, came and picked me up, and I did a scene on the side of the street, on the fucking highway, and underneath somebody's fucking oak tree, and Alexis, Texas was born.
Just like that, Sherry's popped.
I mean, at that point, I only thought I would ever only do that one scene, because for me, I was like, I would have fucked this person anyways, and I was like in college, I didn't have any money, so I was like, why not? And I'm getting paid for it, bet.
Right.
And then a couple months later, they contacted me and said that, do you want to come out to Miami? Because there's a company called Bang Bros and they really want to shoot you, blah, blah, blah. He was kind of a recruiter too, the guy at the time. So I was like, if I work with you only and only you, then I'll do it. I went out there. I flew out there. I had an amazing time. They treated me like a movie star. And I was just like, oh, I could get used to this. So I moved to LA a week later.
Wow. And so, traditionally, like, Chatsworth is like the old school. Is
Woodland Hills.
Okay.
Is where I was
Yeah,
at. But
gotcha.
yeah, I mean, Chatsworth is, I guess, and the Valley in general is the porn capital of.
And how many films have you done or productions?
I had no clue. I don't
No
fucking
clue.
know.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to say on the top of my head, I wanted to say 200, but I feel like it's way more than that. But I don't know. The thing with porn, it's interesting because like in the beginning of my career, I shot like 5 times a week kind of thing. So that means each one is a film.
Yeah, for sure.
But then if you think if the internet came and there were scenes, and then a film, it was 5 movies of a thing. So it just depends. but it's a very small elite group of people. Just like I'm sure you see the same actor friends that you're in roles or whatever is you're doing that many scenes, but you're only fucking like 15 people
So
multiple times.
right.
But and then there's people that like I had one of my guests yesterday was someone that we know we make jokes of that's my porno boyfriend because I see him at least once or twice a week because you see some people more often because of either your chemistry is good or the way
Right.
you guys produce films, and some are dialogue and some are just gonzo, and it's just very different format of fucking.
So now that like in your love life, are you polyamorous? Do you have like two identities? And you shared with me that you're a Gemini. So is it like in your mind that there's like
In my bedroom, there's not a Gemini. There's only one of me.
okay,
No one will know that unless they're in my bedroom.
okay,
So,
okay.
that
But
vault is. What is your biggest pet peeve?
my biggest pet peeve is it's got to be can I say the word ignorance? Yeah, ignorance.
Ignorance?
Yeah,
As far on an educated level or just like common sense or both?
I think both. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that my brother would say like Rob doesn't like stupid. That's like
Okay.
just so it doesn't matter if you don't know something. I think that people should be comfortable saying I don't know.
Okay.
Holding down like your defense of what you don't know, I think that's ignorant, and
Okay.
I don't like that.
So like trying to like back up that you whatever.
Like I know nothing about your industry. I
Mhm.
wouldn't say that I know what it's like in the day in life of your industry because I've never done it before.
Okay.
But let's say that I was telling you like it's just like mine. You're like that's ignorant. You don't know. It's like
True.
so.
How do you define cheating?
Ooh, that's a great question. How does one define cheating?
You were also in like, in actor roles. Has there been situations where you've had love scenes? Is like if your partner think that's cheating, is there a fine line that you let people know before? Or what is cheating to you?
That's a great question. I think cheating is when you know that you are putting someone's heart second to your own desires. That's cheating.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be just physical. It can be emotionally. It can be anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're with a partner, you kind of know like their tolerance, and if you are saying I'm gonna do this despite of what they're comfortable with, I think that's
So have you had partners get upset because you've been in love making scenes or like intimate scenes or things of like
that's a great question. So, I think sometimes the girls on set confuse the work that we do versus the relationship that I have with them.
okay.
I try to be as professional as possible.
Has there been blurred areas where you've had to
I
like
think the girls sometimes get the lines blurred because if I know that I'm in a scene with you, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure that there's a robe for you and
Yeah.
make sure you've got your favorite drink.
again with the nice guy thing?
Not just the comfort
But
thing.
nice guy, I don't think should be. I think that's the trigger
fine.
word for you. But I feel like
Okay,
it shouldn't be a bad thing. But that's things that as if say because your scene partner, right? That's a romantic thing, and how you would be in your real life relationship. So therefore, for you, you're almost emulating like your scene and your role to a T.
No, it's like women are important.
Okay.
So like they deserve like, candle and like stupid, like stuff that makes them happy. And so I think that it's important that I do that because you don't want the woman to say that she's uncomfortable when she gets to set. You want her
But what if that's what makes her uncomfortable is the candle and the other shit?
No, usually
Because then they think that it's like
but
a very like.
no, because you got to do it early. You can't do it on the day of the scene.
So do you do it exactly the same way with everybody?
I do it professionally every single time.
Have you had a situation where it's become a romantic situation? You started dating this person or fucking,
No, I try not to.
but you have.
I try not to date anybody that I'm working with.
But you fucked.
I try and keep it as professional as possible.
But you fucked.
I think it's important to keep it professional.
After the whole Me Too movement came about, how did that things like change things on set, or did you see any kind of difference of how things moved, or was there protocol that kind of made things different, or like you said, like these are things like you're saying that is something that you're just a nice guy that like you wouldn't do if you were romantic or not. You're not trying to like get in any situation. Like how do you move with those things in place?
That's great. That's awesome. You got to do it in front of everybody.
Okay.
So, hey guys, how are you guys? Welcome to the set, everyone. This is our lovely actress. We're going to have an intimacy day today, So, if you don't have to be here, let's give her some privacy during all the scenes that we cut. Let's make sure she has a robe or whatever she needs. And, obviously I'm going to fall in love with her because that's our job and we're going to have a great day. But let's have an amazing day, guys, and let's knock it out and do it quickly.
So you approach the set
As
as
professional.
that. Okay.
Yeah, because this
Okay.
is my sport.
Did you learn that, or did you like? How do you know is like something that everybody does? Like, I mean,
My father taught me that.
okay,
It's like, don't hide who you are. Just be open and be upfront.
and that works for you. As
I
far
think
as
it,
like, have you ever had any encounters where it was kind of a blurred situation where you were like, I didn't mean that at all, and like it became that?
yes, it did. So I had a scene where my actress was very, very comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me, like, you've made me feel the most comfortable of anyone that I've worked with. It's kissing scenes and, clothes on and stuff. So after the end of the day, she's like, come with me and get in the SUV to, we'll go for a drink afterwards. And then I had a producer say, excuse me, can you come this way? And I said, sure. And they said, you were making her feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
I said, first of all, that didn't happen. Second of all, I just said this. I said, I'm a godly man,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm raised right by my father, and I do have siblings, sisters that I love, and I do take care of everybody that I work with because everyone here is my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't happen whatsoever. But to make that real, I'm going to make sure that she provides a letter in ink that says that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love.
Did she feel embarrassed because that was, or did she?
No, she volunteered the letter to
Yeah.
look out for me because
Yeah.
she's like,
Because
"You-"
that's the sticky situation where it's like, again, it's like you're not trying to do the wrong thing, you're trying to do the right thing, but then it's like people's feelings are involved, and it's very like, I think again with all these scandals and things coming out, it's like I feel like people are even more on edge of like, but then again, like you said, it's how do you teeter that line of being your authentic self still, because that's just who you are. Again, you brought me flowers, you don't know me, you're just being kind, and those are your things of like how you are as a man and you show up in the world. So it's interesting how the dynamic of just the entertainment world, and me not being in the adult industry for
Right.
5 or 6 years and having people on my couch and asking the same thing is now there's like liaisons, people of asking like what your checklist of what people do is the comfortability level of just to make sure we're all good
Right.
of what
But
those
I got
things
nothing
mean.
to hide. 8
Yeah.
billion people, they're all going to see the same Robert Ri'chard, and
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. I'm
The-
comfortable in my skin. So I just try to keep everything above board.
What is your biggest goal for the year?
That's a great one. I think my biggest goal is to get a contract for a big action franchise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one in mind that you're like a fan of, that you would just like, you're perfect, what's your like dream
No,
role?
I think that, there's stairs that you have to, climb up. I think that both Tom Cruise, Will Smith, and Keanu Reeves have had great action movies. For Will Smith, at one point it was The Aliens.
Mm.
Independence Day was
Mhm.
fucking that great movie. And then, Ethan Hunt is one of the best characters ever. And then, whether it be Point Break or Matrix or Wick,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves is the shit. And all those guys are getting old. So
You're like, I'm just waiting in line for the
somewhere where the fruit's just too ripe. It's just like it's just gonna fall off the tree. So
So with that being said, there's like these big predominant names that you're just, talking about. Like, who are your like people you looked up to for roles or just inspiration? Do you have any?
yeah, I think the best thing is like the producers.
Okay.
There's a young man, his name is David Ellison, and he owns a company called Skydance.
Okay.
And he came out of like USC, and he was just fearless. Like he put $30 million, I think, into his senior thesis.
Nice.
And I don't know that it worked. I think that they didn't make a lot of money, but he stuck
Crowdfunding, I'm sure.
he stuck his neck all the way out there, and he's made
He believed what he wanted.
the last 7 Mission Impossibles. He made Top Gun 2.
Mm.
So like I think that you could just like fail forward, just like if it doesn't hit, just keep at it.
Failing is learning.
Yeah, there's lessons in that
Failing
for
is
sure.
learning.
Yeah.
Who do you go to for advice?
The person that I probably go to the most is God.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a God-fearing man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm close with God. He's like my father and my comedian and the person that I rely on and the person that doesn't ever fail me. So it's just
Who's
nice.
second?
I probably think
Your
my
sister?
dad. My
Your
dad.
sister
No,
who told you to smack me in the ass?
no,
Just
no, no,
kidding.
no, no, no. I would say like probably my dad.
Okay.
My dad. Yeah. You know, he gives good advice. I think my dad and my grandfather both asked me questions, so it's like a soundboard as opposed to like someone just like giving you advice.
Okay.
Like, where's that gonna get you if you do that?
Respectable.
Yeah. What about you? Who's your go-to person? Like, who's your Jiminy Cricket?
My sister.
Really?
Hmm.
You guys
My
like
oldest sister. Yeah, she's like a mother to me.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Do you have a
Yeah.
lot of siblings or no?
2 sisters and a half brother.
Do you want a big family?
No, I do not.
Do you want kids?
I'm open to it, but I'm also I'm a very good auntie, so I feel like
You wanna send them back?
I feel like it's where you are in life. For me, is I've been married, I'm divorced for the last like 10 years or so. So it's like I was a stepmom, I've been a bonus parent, and that was really rewarding as well. So I'm open to ideas of like the situation, what that life looks like. But I mean, ideally, I would like to have a family of my own, whatever that looks like. I just don't know what that looks like currently.
You were married?
I was married.
Like, what was the wedding like?
Fucking fun.
It was
I don't know.
fun.
It was a fucking fun time until it wasn't.
Are you guys still friends or no?
No, we're not. We do not talk.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
no.
You gotta work on.
I don't gotta work on shit.
Oh,
I've done a lot of healing, and healing also means that you forgive that person and you forgive yourself for those things, but that doesn't mean you have to have that person in your life. I wish them well from afar.
Okay. That's fair.
And if I saw them, I wouldn't like wish them bad. I could have a conversation and be civil. It's just it doesn't serve me to continuously to have someone like that in my life that doesn't serve me.
When you were
You
young,
evolve.
you'd like to have wild sex because you're in college. Like, do you believe in love? Like, does that work?
I mean, ultimately, I feel like everyone should believe in love, right? It's just what love means to you.
Okay.
Last question before Truth with Texas.
Oh shit. Okay.
There's all these social media platforms. What is one of your favorites? Do you like X? Do you like Instagram? Are you a TikTok person? Like, what are you like scrolling through the rabbit hole and like going on?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know TikTok at all.
Okay. You old.
Huh?
You're old.
It's not that. It's
You're
just I
old.
never got.
What's funny is you're deceiving. You don't look like you're in your 40s, but so you look like you should be doing these TikTok dances. Like you
But
should
what
be
is
going
that?
viral.
Like, what-
Exactly.
Like, is TikTok like? I
That's
feel
what
like
the
it's
kids
like
are doing.
high school. Like, the area.
Didn't you play a high school student at one point?
I played baseball. But I think like TikTok is like that in high schools they have like where the people do the pep rallies and they like do the step shit.
Yeah, I do.
It's like that but digitally.
Can I have my champagne from
Yes, of course, my love.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that thing. All right, so we're gonna play Truth with I can't school you all at the first time. All right, we're gonna play Truth with Texas. Truth with Texas is one of my favorite games here at Private Talk. We're gonna get naughty, romantic, kinky, and spicy question.
I love it.
So,
romantic.
We've
kinky.
warmed you up. We've got to know a little bit more of Robert Ri'chard. I mean, I know you haven't done a lot of podcasts, but you're really good at talking, It happens
You're
when
great.
there's nothing up there, you just talk openly when you have good questions given to you.
You're great at interviewing. You're a great narrator.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna go with spicy question.
Great, spicy. Love it.
I will keep it, I'll keep it PG for you. I feel like, I don't want to get too, we know your sister's watching. Do you like dirty talk? Yes or no?
Fuck yes, absolutely, no question.
Okay. Have you ever stayed in a relationship for sex?
Yes, of course.
Tell your truth. Have you ever fallen asleep during sex?
Of course, I've fallen asleep to sex.
Right, that's tragic.
Fucking like 90 hours.
Who are your top porn stars? Top 3.
My top 3.
Yeah, and you definitely have some. Don't fucking lie.
No,
You do.
my top 3. We'll come back to that one. I got to think about who my top 3 are.
Okay, think about it.
Okay.
Has anybody ever thrown up on you during sex?
No, I've never had someone throw up on me, but I've definitely
You seem like you're upset about it.
No, but I've made people throw up. Some people have just drank too much alcohol and they got to throw up. I used to work in Mexico. So in Mexico, like, there's this, like...
So that just happened?
Yeah, you just, like, stick your... Because, like, there's just, like...
What job do you have in Mexico that you just put your fingers down girls' throat to make them throw
we
up?
threw parties for, like, sorority girls. Like, big, huge, like, weekend extravaganza.
This is when you lived in Austin, Texas?
This is when I lived in Mexico. I lived in PV. I lived in Mazatlan. I lived in Cancun. I lived in Cabo. And so you take your fingers and you put them down their throat, like... and then they throw up the
Done
excess
that.
alcohol.
I've done that move a different ways, but
Yeah.
sure.
It works it works the same way.
It's like, honey, are you okay? I think there's
both
something wrong
holes.
with that in there. I don't really
Both,
fucking know, but
both
sure.
holes. It works that way.
All right, kinky questions.
Okay.
Favorite time of day to have sex? Are you a morning, nighttime, always ready to go?
I'm pretty much always ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever woken up to somebody that you did not know their name?
Oh yeah, for
Oh.
sure.
Can we hear about that story? Was it like last night?
No. No. So. Okay. Like.
What happened?
No, it's just you know one of their names, but you don't know the other person's name.
Oh, I know one of them?
I'm saying in the scenario, like you know one person's name because
Oh, she brought the other person.
and then you don't
didn't
know the other person's name.
I don't get down like that for sure.
Okay, yeah, okay, all right. You've never had a threesome?
I mean, I have. I'm Alexis, Texas, but like, they're like curated. You know,
Have you-
Not like.
Have you done like you said the word gonzo earlier? I don't know what that means, but it means the
But shit, what that means.
Oh shit, it means something. So have you done like the whole? Just here, let's get another drink.
That doesn't make me matter. I store it regardless, and there's a whole fucking cup right here.
All right, cheers.
Okay, what's the question about Gonzo? It's just funny
Have
because
you-
again, about the levels of like you don't know my business, but you're curious. So the
Yeah. So
question-
have you done like a lot of what can be done, or is there still like a lot more to do if you were to continue?
Stop being vague and just ask the question, because like there's a room for interpretation, and I'm not like you say it since you want to know.
Okay,
the question.
I'll say like there's a bunch of categories that exist in porn.
Okay.
Have you done all the categories?
No, I have not.
Are there ones you just won't touch at all?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I'm trying to think of what all. I mean, there's a lot of categories, especially nowadays, of what it is. But there's definitely like there's certain things I've done a very small amount of, or there's things that I've maybe done like once. Like I did one gangbang one time for a movie. I don't know what your like limits. I don't know what categories you're speaking of. That's why I'm like it's very vague. That's why I was like, well, what is the specific?
Okay, it's the specifics. Okay, yeah.
Okay, bondage, yes or no? Are you like a Mr. Gray? Do you have like, a whole dungeon in your like home? You have like,
Yeah, I have a crucifix.
you have a crucifix? What does that mean? Is that a crucifix dildo or crucifix what? You
No,
put girls up
crucifix.
there?
No, crucifix is like you strap it onto the bed, so it like goes under the bed, and then you can like fasten someone's hands and their legs like.
So it just lives under your bed at all
No,
times.
it's like
You have to like put it.
you put it on the bed, yeah. But then
Okay.
once it's on, you can strap people.
So what do you do
down.
once these bitches are strapped?
That's the you can do whatever you want. That's the
What do you do is what Private Talk wants to know. We want the truth, Robert.
Usually I offer them a surprise. I think surprises are important in life.
That you learned on your early on stage.
Makes girls happy.
Debuts with the
Girls love surprises.
All right. Do you have any fetishes? You said you're just, your porn search history was lesbians or threesomes, but do you have like a fetish like big booties? Do you like midgets? Do you like feet? Do you like, I don't know.
No, I like a
Anything.
woman. Like
There's a lot of things for a woman, but is that why you like lesbian scenes? Because it's multiple women?
I think it's hot. I
Okay.
think it's hot. I think
Do they have to be with the man, or they could just be
who what?
the
Oh, the-
lesbian porn that you're watching?
Well, that would be just two girls, like girl.
That's what I'm saying, but do they have to be with the man, or do you just like them just together by themselves?
Oh, if you're watching the lesbian porn, it's just the girls.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Got it.
yeah.
Have you ever called someone the wrong name during sex?
I would always call them
Because you
baby.
call them baby.
Always call them
Honestly,
baby.
I already said I'm going to call you out about your terms of endearment. Can you do this a lot? And that really
Always-
gives fuckboy energy. And you can't
What
call
does
it
that even mean? What's fuckboy energy mean?
because it means that it's just rolls off your tongue so easy. Like it means nothing. Baby should be like something that you work up to, not something that you just call everybody baby. It gives no value to it.
No, I think it's chivalrous to be able to say
To say baby, no. There's
Like-
a lot of other words that you could say.
yeah, you call her by her name.
Okay, but
What do you want me to call? What do you want me to call you?
Alexa.
Alexis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Miss Texas, Dr. Texas, without the PhD.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna go there. We're gonna school you on these things.
All right.
How many partners would you say you had?
I've had.
You looked at me like, bitch, why'd you ask me this question? We want the truth again, Robert.
I
Like, is it okay? We'll do ranges, right? Is
Yeah.
it like
higher. Higher.
I
Higher.
yeah. Okay, so are you like
Higher.
100 to
Higher.
the
Higher.
500?
Higher for sure.
1,000?
Yeah, higher.
Jeez, your dick gets around.
No, it's
Like
not that.
5,000?
Sure.
That does not mean 5,000?
Yeah, sure.
No, now look, I called you out. Now you're getting insecure about it. Look.
I'm not being insecure.
So 10,000.
That's the Will Chamberlain number. That's a lot. Listen, 10,000 is a real number. That would be like 3 a day.
Do you know anybody who's had this number?
10,000?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and its body is not time.
No, I know. Bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilt say it at 10.
Okay. He
Right.
said that.
Yeah, it's in his book.
Okay. I didn't read
Will
it.
Chamberlain's like a famous basketball
I know
player.
exactly who the fuck it is. Relax, Robert.
100. You see that 2 more zeros.
But I didn't know that it was 10,000 women. I can believe it because especially again at that time, there was no, like nobody wasn't in your business as much as social media. Everybody's looking at your
Yeah, I mean, I would say.
Are you 5,000?
I would say, listen, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'd imagine that Hugh Hefner has his numbers. Will Chamberlain has his numbers.
R.I.P. Hugh.
Yeah, I know. He's the goat.
Doesn't matter.
He's the goat. He's the goat. Shout out to Hugh.
Did you ever go to the Playboy Mansion?
Yes.
Did you fuck bitches in the Playboy Mansion?
Yes.
Did you ever see Hugh Hefner's dick?
No.
If he was fucking bitches around you, would see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mansion. It's got a lot of places to fuck. It's not
So that means that you were recorded on film from Hugh Hefner.
Sure, absolutely, as I should be.
Because there was a whole thing that they said that Hugh had cameras all over his home. The same thing is like why they're saying I feel like Diddy's house got raided because there was a lot of like parties, things going on. So there's a lot of high profile people that don't want things seen. So they're taking tapes of things.
I haven't been with someone that I'd ever be embarrassed that I've been with.
No, it's about the embarrassment. It's about what they want to like be,
clandestine, private.
The collateral of what they have above you. And if you don't care, you don't care. But some people do because of like, maybe they want to run for office one day. Do you think that they want to have your local politician, which everybody fucks and it doesn't matter, but you
just got to be transparent. That's why before you run for politics, you just write the book.
So what are your thoughts on the whole Diddy situation?
I'm learning about it.
Okay.
So I saw the video today. Fuck.
He's definitely done.
That's really bad. Like I said, I come from a military family. I come from a Christian family, so I have my values. I think it's wrong just to jump on a bandwagon and hop on shit.
For sure. Facts are facts, though. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that were trying to stay face because you know somebody, you think you know somebody, but I feel like once the truth comes out, the truth comes out. And I feel like it shouldn't happen like that for people who are the victims of that, but it's a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, no, it's we know Cassie. She's a lovely girl, and I saw it today, this morning.
Yeah,
and it was like, and we're gonna see what happens. I don't know is it her that presses charges, or is it the public that presses charges?
Well, you can't. That's the whole thing is because of statute of the time frame, it's like it doesn't,
it's
can't.
expired, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they came out and said that they couldn't do anything to press charges for that because of the time expiration of what that was. But I think it's just, I honestly, I saw
many men have been shot by other men for doing that.
For sure. It's unfortunate. I think, again, it's like from even, talking about earlier about like how the documentary of having child stars around all these like people, men, and they're doing all like crazy things coming out to light. Some people get affected by it. Some people don't. Some people have been around these parties. Some people see the stuff. Some people don't. Some people choose to say things. Some people don't. It's just an unfortunate that the entertainment business has to go through that because of people of power, and that it's like it's unfortunate that the victims have to have a video like that come out to have someone believe you.
Yeah, it's got to be a really emotional tornado to deal with.
So let's switch the situation of the conversation right before we end our conversation, but lighten things up. What do you think about the Drake and Kendrick beef? Who do you think won?
They're gonna go on concert together. What are you talking about?
But who do you think won?
So there's like 9 songs, right?
There's a lot.
I
stopped listening after the second.
I haven't even heard all of the damn songs. It's like I don't know that I'm invested in stuff like that because I think it's just art.
Okay.
Like they didn't.
So you don't believe in any of it? It's just music.
It's just music. I mean, listen, I'm sure that they're saying blows, but, you know, when I'm from Tupac's line was, "Fuck you, you fat motherfucker, die slow, motherfuckers. I'll make sure my fofo make sure all your kids don't grow." And he
Okay,
fuck with
Compton.
right, that was the lyrics, and then there was real
Yeah.
retaliation. That doesn't exist anymore. There's not gonna be like a shootout on fucking Sunset Boulevard for this.
Tupac's a Gemini. Yeah, I'm gonna rock with him. I'm gonna rock with him. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's the rest of Truth with Texas. You've asked me so many questions. Is there one more question you want to finish off Miss Texas with?
No, I think you're a lovely person, and, I think you're gonna have a big platform. It's gonna get bigger and bigger, and just, hope to come back when I have more movies.
Appreciate you. Let us know where we can support you, follow you, and all those things.
Watch all my movies. I'm out here hugging grandparents, kissing babies. Love you guys. Love my fans. God bless you guys, and thanks for watching.
All right, Pride Talk. Until next time. This episode is sponsored by Bet Online.